Hi everybody, I'm Randy Arrington and welcome to episode 93 of Page Valley Livin. Here today as our guest for this episode is Lou Podrasky. He is the program coordinator for the Jail MAT Recovery and Reentry Program, and MAT stands for Medication Assisted Treatment. He is of course dealing with inmates who have had substance abuse issues. It's one of several programs here in our community that's trying to fight the drug problem here in Page County. And we're going to talk a little bit about the need for these type of services, as well as the funding that goes behind them and what kind of specific services that Lou and his staff, small staff here, do provide for inmates and folks that are getting out of jail here in Page County. We're going to talk all about this very important program and all of the details that go into it in just a few moments after we hear a word from our sponsor. At Luray Caverns, the Smithsonian Institution said, quote, "It is safe to say there is probably no other cave in the world more completely and profusely decorated than that of Luray. Come see Mother Nature showing off, only at Luray Caverns. Visit them online at luraycaverns.com to plan your trip today." Welcome back, everyone. Here we are today, episode 93, as we said, of Page Valley Living. And we're here today on West Main Street, right by the West Main Bridge here in downtown Luray with Lou Podrasky. Thanks, Lou, so much for taking time to talk with us today.
Thank you.
And we want to talk about the program that Lou coordinates here. As we said, it's called the Jail MAT Recovery and Reentry Program. MAT stands for Medication Assisted Treatment. And you know, Lou, I bet if I were to stop 10 people on the street, assuming they weren't tourists, and that they were local Luray residents, and ask them what this program is and what it does, I'm not sure that 2 of them could tell me the details about it. Does that sound about right?
Unfortunately, that sounds about right.
That's one reason we wanted to get you here today, is to talk more about what you all do. And it says here in one of your pamphlets about the why, in terms of why this program is held. It says the Page County Sheriff's Office aims to reduce the impact of opioids, stimulants, and other substances on individuals and communities, including a reduction in the number of overdose fatalities. And I think that probably sums it up pretty well. And your program here, which is funded through grants, works with the Sheriff's Office, but it's not as part of the Sheriff's Office. Is that right?
No, I'm a part of the Sheriff's Office.
Actually part of the Sheriff's Office, okay. Explain that to us.
Actually, we are under the administrative part of the Sheriff's Office,
Okay.
under the jail.
Okay.
I mean, my staff is listed as part of the jail staff,
Okay.
although we just go into the jails and
Okay.
work with the inmates there.
Okay.
And when they get out, we work with them here.
Okay.
But we work inside the jail.
Well, we were talking before we started filming here today on this Wednesday. We are a day late, folks, because of the election. We set things back a day late, and we're filming on November the 5th. On Wednesday, we'll be airing it on Thursday the 6th. But we both talked about the need for this program and so many others that are doing similar work to what you're doing. And you know, we've talked about the drug problem here in Page County for years. Is it getting worse? Is it getting better? Have we reached a plateau? What is your insight?
Can't say it's getting worse, but I don't see it getting any better.
Okay.
We are still arresting a lot of people, putting them back in jail for being either in possession of drugs, under the influence of drugs, using drugs. Some of them even sell drugs.
Right.
The majority of the people that come here to our program, they don't sell drugs. I mean, They might share with friends.
Right.
But they are themselves using. 80% of the people in the Page County Jail are there because of substance use.
Wow. And that could even be applied to other crimes that they may have committed where drugs is sort of one of the source problems.
Yeah. Generally, our people, the biggest crime they commit is usually under the influence, driving under the influence, or sales. They might sell something to a friend to support their own habit. They are not your major dealers.
Right. You know,
that we run into.
I heard Judge Houff make a comment. He was a General District Court judge for many years here, and he's now a substitute judge, also my neighbor across the street. But I remember him saying when he basically stepped down and retired that in the courtroom he did not see a lot of bad people, but he saw a lot of good people who did bad things. Would you describe your clients that way?
I would. I really like our clients. They're really good people. They make a mistake. They've made bad choices. That's what we try to do through our counseling here, is help them make better choices.
Right.
Choices that will have an impact on their lives, of themselves and their families. When one thinks of a person using drugs, they think of one person, but it affects the whole family.
Yeah.
And in some cases, I am seeing second and third generation drug users.
Wow.
They learned it from their fathers and grandfathers and their moms. At one point, I had 3 people in my program, a mother and her 2 sons. They were all at the Page County Jail at the same time for the same problem,
Wow.
for drug use.
Well, on that same note and on that same beat of talking about good people who do bad things rather than just bad people, how much of what you do, particularly in terms of outreach in the community, is fighting that stigma that oh, they're just a dope head, they're just a drug user, why are we even spending this money and time on them? Do you have to fight that a lot?
Really not.
Okay.
I think in most cases we're kind of ignored. That's why we're trying to get the word out that we are here, that we have a service. You know, we've worked out a great arrangement with probation, where if somebody is starting to backslide and fall into maybe using again, probation will refer them to us so that we can start working with them before they end up having to be rearrested and go back into the jail.
Right. Right.
And in that part, we've been very successful. I mean, we've got a number of people that have been with our program for 1 to 2 years already.
Okay.
And have not used drugs in all of that time. They've maintained employment, they've maintained their families, and they've completed probation. They've successfully gotten off probation without having to be what they call probation violation,
Right.
where they go back because most of them test positive for using a drug.
Okay.
Our people haven't. So we've been successful in that aspect. And the people that are working with us, as long as they work with us, we're able to continue to provide that support so they don't end up going back to the jail. Our
Okay.
jails are crowded. Page County Jail is overcrowded.
Yeah.
It's a small jail. We don't have the space to provide the services in the jail that we would like to provide, but we make do.
You had some numbers earlier that how many we have in there and how many was built for.
Well, the jail is built for 26 people. Today, they had 76
yeah.
people in the jail. That's just what's in Page County. There are over 150 people that are under the sheriff's jurisdiction. The rest of them are at regional jails that Page County is paying for
Every day.
every day.
Yeah.
They are there. If we had these 125 people here, there would be a savings.
Yeah.
But if we had more programming and more services, there'd be even a greater savings. For every $1 spent in treatment, you get $7 back in the community in savings.
Wow. I was just getting ready to ask you, I mean, we've been talking about building new jails in Page County for at least a half a century. I've looked at old clippings where they talked about the jail being crowded in the 60s and 70s, much less in the last 25 years. I've heard it quite a bit. But so you feel that money invested in programs like these could actually save the community money on the back end through not having repeated incarceration and things like this?
I mean, studies have shown every $1 invested in treatment saves, I said $5 to $7, depending on where you are.
Yeah.
That is a savings that can be realized over time. I did a little study a while back of just the people that have been in my program. Prior to coming to my program, the average length of number of times they've been in jail is 7.
Okay.
The average number of days they're in jail, 42.
Wow.
Each day costs you $50
Wow.
per person.
Yeah.
Take that 315 times 50 times 42 times 7. You're into the millions of dollars.
Yeah.
Every time we keep somebody out. The people that have been in the program now for some time, that have not gone back to jail, every day that they're out, we're technically saving $50.
Wow. Well, now in our second segment here that we're going to take a break here in a moment and go into, we're going to break down a little bit more about what your program does. We're going to talk about the staff, talk about the funding a little bit more. But in just 2 or 3 key bullets, what are 2 or 3 of the most important things that this program does for that individual inmate that leads to success?
We provide them case management. We connect them to services that we don't have. Housing, employment, food. A lot of the guys, when they got out of jail, they don't have anywhere to go.
Right.
Our case manager helps people get them into some kind of temporary residence until we can find them a place to live. Some of our people have lived in some abhorrent places when they get out. And it's getting the wintertime again. So the challenge gets even more.
Right.
That's one of the most important things. The other one is providing them with a sense of accomplishment and hope that, yeah, I can do it.
Right.
I mean, like I said, I've got some people here that have completed their probation while on the program. Before, these people would go back and forth to jail and their probation would get extended and they wouldn't get out. That's costing you money.
Absolutely.
You know, probation officers got huge caseloads.
Right.
What we try to do is work with them, ease their burden by also working with the individuals. And we'll do, assessments. We provide trauma counseling. The trauma that these individuals have gone through in their lives that led to their using drugs. Nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I think I'm going to go use drugs.
Right, right.
Something leads them to it. And it usually can be traced back to some kind of trauma that they've experienced or were part of or saw.
Right,
And they're trying to numb that pain
right,
by using drugs.
right.
We're trying to work with them where they can think through that pain and not use drugs as an alternative. Some people do need help with that process, and that's why we offer medication-assisted treatment through a referral to another provider. We don't give any drugs ourselves.
Well, I was gonna bring that up at the beginning of the next segment, but since you're on it, I'm gonna hit it right now. What would you say to the average citizen out there that hears this and they say, wait a minute, medication-assisted treatment, are you just enabling them and giving them drugs, or how would you explain that and the effectiveness of it?
The drugs that we provide basically block the effect of any of the illicit drugs they may use.
Okay.
They're a
okay.
blocking drug. It's sort of like you get a headache, you take an aspirin.
Yeah.
Nobody says, well, that's bad. That's,
Right.
that's medicated assisted treatment. You're treating
Right,
a headache
okay.
with an aspirin. We do the same thing by providing them a more powerful drug that's a blocking agent to the substance that they're using, so they don't feel the effect.
Okay.
And part of not feeling that effect means that, okay, this isn't going to do me any good. I need to approach this problem a little differently.
Very well, very well. Okay. Well, we're going to learn a little bit more about the details of this program, who works with it, and how they help local inmates not only deal with substance abuse problems, but their reentry back into society. We'll be back in just a moment with Lou Podrasky talking about the jail MAT recovery and reentry program under the Page County Sheriff's Office. We'll be back to talk more details after another word from our sponsor. At Luray Caverns, you can hear music of symphonic quality from ancient stone formations on the great stalacpipe organ, the largest musical instrument in the world. Only at Luray Caverns. Visit them online at luraycaverns.com to plan your trip today. Welcome back, everyone. I am Randy Arrington here with Lou Podrasky, and we're talking about the jail MAT recovery and reentry program under the Page County Sheriff's Office. Some of the services that they provide include substance abuse, alcohol screening and assessment, individual group counseling, case management, individual peer support, medication assisted treatment, substance abuse education, relapse prevention program, and referral to other services, as they do work with other organizations in the community. And I want to read off the staff here, I believe, of 5 individuals. Lou Podrasky here is the director or program coordinator. Shane Burrows is a case manager. Taylor Alger, many of you will know that name, is a certified trauma practitioner. Rebecca Roush is a therapist here, and Jeremiah Buracker is a peer recovery specialist. These sound like some very well-trained and dedicated people. How in the world do you pay for them?
Well, fortunately, I'm operating on a federal grant right now.
Okay.
That grant, though, is scheduled to end on February 28th of 2026.
Now, was that the original end date, or has that been adjusted due to recent circumstances?
That was adjusted because I'm very frugal when it comes to spending money, so I'm able to stretch it.
Okay.
And so we were able to stretch it out. The original end date would have been September 30th this year.
Okay, okay.
And so I was able to get it for another 6 months.
So you have not been affected in terms of either the shutdown or a lot of the federal cuts that have been coming down over recent months?
Fortunately not.
Okay.
And I think part of it is because we're toward the end of our grant,
Okay.
and it just wasn't worth the paperwork and time to try to get it back. But when this grant ends, then the county has kicked in some money.
Okay.
And it's a pittance. I'll be
Okay.
straightforward. It's a pittance amount. In May, I'm going to go back to the county, and I'm going to ask for a lot more money because I will not have a federal grant. There are no federal grants out there right now.
Now, you said your money ran out into February. Why are you waiting until May?
Well, during the budget process.
I see.
The money that I have from the county, I got during the last budget process to use this year
Okay.
to cover the gap
So that's going to cover from March through into June?
into June.
Okay.
Correct.
Okay. So that's already secured?
That's secured.
Okay, okay.
And so then I will be coming back. Either the county funds us or the program goes away, and then there are no services for people in the jail coming out that have a substance use disorder.
No service, that, like what you provide?
Like what we provide. Yes, there are some voluntary services. There are AA and NA groups that are voluntary.
Right.
There is some counseling available that through the probation department has a contract with Page Counseling where they'll have services. But where people can walk in and get involved in a program, there really will not be anything.
Wow.
Right now, my program pays for strengthened peers to be in the Page County Jail providing peer support.
But you're the one that brings in strengthened peers?
I bring in strengthened peers.
Yeah, okay.
Now, if we go away, strengthened peers may have some funding where they can cover their staff time to come to Page County. I don't know. You know what?
They have been very fortunate, but I know they were hit by recent cuts.
They were hit hard
Yeah.
with the Doge cuts
Okay.
earlier this year.
You're right.
It was really terrible what happened to them. But beyond that, there is not much in Page County. There are no residential recovery programs that are certified residential recovery programs.
Okay.
There are some houses, but we'll leave that at that.
Right.
But there is no residential programs. If a person wants to get into a residential program, they have to go out of the county and hope to find a bed somewhere. We've had people go as far as Arlington and Winchester
Wow.
to get into programs. So that's the one thing that is hard. Page County doesn't have an infrastructure where people can get around. If you're in Shenandoah and you need services, how do you get to Larave? Unless you have a friend that's going to drive you,
Right.
there are no buses.
Well, let me ask this, and you can tell me whether this is just perception or whether it's real. It feels like that in the last 2, maybe 3 years, that there has been, even though the drug problem has been a problem for decades, that there has been more of a pushback or a awareness, more groups forming. We talked about some of those groups before, Strengthened Peers being one, but a lot of others, and Taylor Alger seems like she bounces between a lot of them. but there does seem to be more focused effort on dealing with this issue. Are you seeing that from where you sit, and is it making a difference?
I see more people trying to do things and wanting to do things,
Right.
but without the infrastructure and funding, the impact is very minimal.
Okay.
One person can only talk to so many people at any given time.
Right.
If they don't have the funding, how are they going to do it? They have to support themselves.
Sure.
So that's the hard part. Yeah, there's a lot of good hearts out there that want to do things,
Right.
but how do you do it if you don't have the money? I mean, a group came in offering to put in a residential program out at the Brookside.
The old Brookside, yeah, yeah.
And people all got up in arms saying,
Well,
well,
sure.
not in my backyard.
Right, right.
Well, it's
sure.
going to go in somebody's backyard
Right,
at some
right.
point.
But that was approved.
It was approved. Unfortunately, but nothing has happened with that. And
Well,
it's
and isn't that a private
It's private.
investment?
it's a private
okay,
investment,
yeah.
so unless you have good insurance or Medicaid that will cover that, there's nothing here for
Okay,
you.
okay.
Our program, we don't charge for our services
Right,
at this point because we use the grant money so that we are able to help in that manner. If somebody had to pay for this service, $75 an hour, who has that?
now I think you told me before we started, what you're doing here, this program goes back to 2021?
The program was originally funded back in 2019.
Okay,
And because of COVID, and that's why the money is stretched out,
I see,
they didn't go anywhere.
okay,
The program basically languished.
okay,
And then I came on board and got it moving and got additional funding to hire the staff because the original concept of this program didn't have any staff with it. It was all going to be telemedicine.
okay, okay.
But there were so many things. It would
Yeah.
take an hour to go into that right now.
Right.
But what I envisioned was what we have, where we have staff that are trained therapists. Rebecca is a licensed, therapist in the state of Virginia. She's got a master's in social work and a lot of experience. Taylor is a trauma practitioner. She's getting her master's degree in psychology.
Right.
Shane has got a degree in counseling. I've got professional people. Jeremiah is a peer support specialist. He's got the lived experience. He can sit down with somebody and say, yeah, here's your path.
Yeah. Well, government and government services or these type of services are not like running a business. However, taxpayers are constantly asking about ROI, right? What am I getting for my tax dollars that's going into this? So, you are funded through grants. You've been going since 2019 or 2021. You have a good staff, but it's a small staff. Do you feel like you're making a dent?
I think we're making a good dent.
Okay.
The number of people that have been in the program for a length of time, that have completed probation, that have not gone back to jail, that are employed,
Right.
working, paying taxes. They're not on welfare.
Right.
They're not on food stamps. They are working. We have one person just got a job out at EMCO, another one at a restaurant in the area, a couple others work in different areas. They are working. They are being contributing members to society.
And not costing you money at the jail.
And not costing us $50 a day sitting in jail.
Or either here or somewhere else.
Somewhere else, where it costs you even more.
And you talked earlier about, on the negative side, when people are using and they're having problems, it doesn't just affect them, it affects their family, it affects children, spouses, extended family, because of the other problems it could create. Let's flip that, let's inverse that. Let's flip it to the other side. When someone is doing good, when they have found success, when they've gotten out of jail, and they've got a regular job, and they're earning money, and they're contributing to society, does that not have a ripple positive effect then on their spouses and children and extended family as well?
Oh yeah. We've had an individual who lost her children because of her substance use. Her children were in foster care. They're back with her now.
It's good.
They're out of foster care. Mom is taking care of them. Mom has a job.
Right.
You know, she's got family support, you know, along with, because now she's doing good, you know, the family's more willing to help.
Right, right.
But that has taken it out of the system. When somebody uses drugs and they go to jail, what happens to their family? Generally, they go on welfare. They need, you know, social services support.
Right,
Mom may be a drug user herself.
right.
And you've got that vicious cycle going. When they're out of it, you don't have that cycle. You have regular people like you and I get up in the morning, go to work,
Right.
pay their bills, take care of their family.
And that individual that you're speaking of, that mom, do you think she would have gotten to where she is today without your program?
You can ask her. She would tell you no. She would not be where she is. We worked with her from the time she went into jail until when she got out. We continued to work with her, providing her support, providing counseling, helping her develop her direction.
Mm-hmm.
I run into her every now and then. You know, Luray's a small town.
Sure, sure.
And she tells people, this guy's program helped me. Her parents have come and thanked us for the
Wow.
support we've given her.
Wow. How many people a week, a month, a year, however you want to quantify it, how many people do you serve?
Since 2021, we've served 315 people
Oh, wow.
in Page
Okay.
County. We currently have an open caseload of 41.
Wow.
22 of them are in jail, 19 are out of the jail. So we provide services in the jail to prepare them for reentry, to come out when they come out. So when we know when they come out what they need. Are they going to need help with housing, with food, clothing? I mean, we help, and we hook them up with the services. We hook them up with Page One, the
Right.
food pantry. We hook them up with employment services through career support services. You know, different places, and that's what Shane's job is.
Well,
Yeah,
right.
that he does all of that, running around, you know, because he knows all of this. If somebody needs a place to stay, we send them to Arise. Now, Arise doesn't offer, but they offer what we call, you know, you get a hot meal,
Yeah.
and if they need a place to stay, sometimes they'll give them a tent,
Right, right.
you know, until they
Right.
get. We don't want people sleeping in tents, but it's better than nothing.
Nothing. And so you and your group are like a liaison, and you're working with these other services.
Oh yeah,
To help
there's
them.
no way we could do it by ourselves.
Right.
I mean, our focus is counseling, getting the person to look at themselves and develop the inner strength to stay away from drugs. But it takes a community, it takes a village, just like that story goes, you know?
Right,
It takes a
right.
village to take care of somebody.
You know, obviously, people that are in these situations, they have to make a decision to help themselves. They you know, if there has to be a point where, I guess some people say they have to reach rock bottom or whatever. But what do you think is the key in the people you see that you help, that the one element that is most important for success and them getting on the right track?
I think it's a lot of things, but the one thing is that they know that there's somebody out there that cares
Yeah.
and is willing to help them.
Yeah.
We have an individual that we're working with his whole family. He's got 2 twin daughters
Yeah.
that, through the trauma they've experienced through their father's addiction, through their mother's addiction,
Right.
have had a lot of issues. Our therapist is working with the whole family
Wow.
to put that family back together again.
Wow.
You know, make it a whole family. When people come to us, they've said, I can't do this anymore.
Wow.
I need help. And they're willing to admit it. The only thing that's in for people that when they come here
Yeah.
is their own motivation. They come into our program, they don't get any charges dismissed. They have done their time in jail. Their only motivation is to help themselves, to finally have come to that realization that I need support. I can't do it on my own.
Well, thank goodness there are people like Lou Podrasky and Taylor Alger and Shane Burrows and Rebecca Roush and Jeremiah Buracker here to help them. Now, as we close out, get ready to close out here, is there anything that the people out there can do to help you and your organization, whether it be volunteering, donations, or whatever? Here's your opportunity to let them know.
We can always use volunteers. We have a group of volunteers through Community Works. We try to provide classes, life skills classes in the jail. We can always accept donations. One of the things that and although we can't take the donations directly, through the Sheriff's Foundation,
Right.
they can make a donation and earmark it for our program. One of the things we could use are gas cards, to help people get gas, or some cash to help buy a couple basic clothing items or a basic, groceries. We try to send them to services, but if we can do some of that, and if people are willing to donate through the Sheriff's Foundation, and it is tax deductible, it's a 501(c),
Right.
so you can get that advantage as well. We'll take that.
Okay.
Any help we can get.
And that's through the Page County Sheriff's Office Foundation, which if people are not familiar, you can contact the Sheriff's Office. They'll put you in the right direction. And working under the Sheriff's Office, you told me that they pretty much are hands off in terms of they don't tell you what to do. They let you do your thing. I
work for the sheriff.
Yeah.
He's my boss.
Right.
But his thing was set up a program. Let's see if we can keep people out of the jail.
Right.
Sheriff Cubbage, to his credit, says, I don't want to see the same person come through here. Page County is small. Everybody knows everybody, so you know each other really well.
Right.
And we'll give that. The other thing we can use support on is I'm going to need funding for this program for the next year. Now, come June 30th, this program runs out of funds.
He's talking to you supervisors.
I am talking to the supervisors. I'm going to be coming and asking for funding to keep this program going. I'm looking at grants. There are no grants out there right now. The government is shut down. We don't know what's going to be coming. So we are going to be looking for local support. If this program goes away, I don't know what's out there.
I mean, if you shut down tomorrow, what would be one or two of the biggest impacts? I mean, the population of the jail goes up, or?
Well, population of jail might go up because people that are coming here for support, when people are when they're struggling, if they don't have anywhere to go, well, I'll use a drug and I'll feel better.
Yeah.
Well, they're going to end up back in jail.
Right.
So, if we
it's
go
that
away,
$7 return we talked about.
You're going to be spending $7 instead of $1.
Yeah, yeah. Well, Lou, thank you so much for everything you do. Thank you for what you do every single day in this office right down here on West Main Street, and thank you for everything your staff does as well.
Well, thank you, Randy. I appreciate having the opportunity to share the program with Page County and letting them know what we have. And, if anybody wants to come and contact us, they can come by the office at anytime, Monday through Friday. We're here, and we'll be glad to talk more about the program and, any other support they might want to give us.
Well, if you or anyone else can help out, make sure you contact Lou. His number here at the office is 540-244-8312. That's 540-244-8312. That's the Jail Mat Recovery and Reentry Program. And folks, we hope you've enjoyed this issue. We hope that in some way it has touched you, and maybe you can reach out and help in your own way. If you've liked the video, make sure you hit the like button and share this video with a friend, and make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can type in Page Valley News right there on YouTube. It'll take you to our channel, where we've now had 93 episodes about people and issues right here in the Page Valley. As always, we'd like to thank Eleanor Arrington for her help behind the camera and in the editing room this week. And as we end each and every show with an ambulance going right by us on West Main Street, we want to remind you to go down to the Page County Animal Shelter and help one of our furry friends find a forever home. For Lou Podrasky, I'm Randy Arrington here from the Jail Mat Recovery and Reentry Program office on West Main Street, telling you until next week, enjoy that Page Valley living.